Here's a question I get asked more than just about anything else. Hey coach, what are some moves that I can use to score more points, to beat my defender, to create for my teammates? And here's the thing about moves. Moves are overrated. What I mean by that is that there's a million different moves you can use in the game of basketball. What really matters is creating advantages. So how good are you at creating advantages? So in this video, I want to go over different moves that you can use to create advantages for yourself. We're also going to go through counters and options out of these moves, because what really matters is that you're able to be in a situation and react and adjust to how the defense plays it, what they give you, what they take away. And when you can do those things coming out of these moves or different ways to create advantages, you're going to be able to score more points, create more for yourself and create more for your teammates, and overall have way more success as a basketball player. Let's get into it. One of the best ways to create an advantage is by being deceptive and catching the defender off guard. So with this first move and these counters, that's exactly what we're trying to do. So we're going to start with what's called a delayed between. All that is I'm here with the ball, and normally when we go between the legs, it looks something like that because we're going with the ball, we're going right away. But for this, we're gonna break that rhythm. Defenders live and die by rhythm and patterns that they pick up on. So again, most defenders pick up on that pattern of between the legs looking like that. So what we're gonna do right here is interrupt that pattern, and what that's gonna do is allow us to catch them off guard. So instead of going right with that between, we're gonna get that between, let it touch that hand, and then we're gonna go half a second late. So by the time they react to it, the ball's already out in front of us and we can already go. And this just gives us a half second head start on that defender. So again, I'm nice and relaxed with that up here, and then I can go. So notice how narrow I'm staying up here. Like I'm super narrow. After that delay, I'm going for being here, and my feet are almost resetting wider so that I have an angle to push off of and accelerate here. So bringing that to my right side. Now, it's super important for a move like this that you have a counter, because it's not gonna work every time, especially if it's something that you do a couple of times and it works a couple of times. So right here, we're gonna get to a toe tap cross. All that this is just, again, just a counter off of this. So I get myself there, and those feet can still replace, but then instead of going, I'm just crossing myself back the other way now. Out. Having both of these at your disposal, super important, and a really good way to be able to create a half second advantage for you that you can take advantage of and be able to score more, create more, ultimately take advantage of that defender, the fact that they're always gonna be a little bit behind you. For this next move, we're gonna go through a cross jab here. All of that looks like is crossing that ball over. And again, right here, we're playing on the fact that defenders pick up on habits and they make assumptions, and they're almost always anticipating something. So when we can use this as a great way to throw a wrench in that, be able to throw off that pattern they're expecting, and a lot of times be able to catch them off guard and create an advantage. So all that we're gonna do in that cross jab is, again, when we cross over, normally it looks something like that, where our whole body is going with the ball, or going in the direction of the ball. Instead, right here, we're crossing that ball over, but then our body is going the opposite direction. So we're selling that drive. The ball is here though, so as they shift that way, we could just go, because we already have the ball on the side that we're going to. So how that looks, I'm bringing myself up. This is something that's really nice to use in transition, or even when you just have a little bit of space on a defender. And again, when you get really good at being able to disconnect the ball from your body, it makes you a lot harder to predict and a lot harder to guard. For our last option off the dribble, I think for me personally, I really like this one because it allows me to play to my strength of shooting the basketball. So if you're somebody who shoots the ball, especially off the dribble, this is something that can be really, really helpful, really, really effective. Again, defenders completely play on patterns, that play on rhythm. So when they see something starting, they anticipate what's gonna happen. If a defender sees me step this way and bring my hand towards the ball, they assume that I'm picking it up, likely to shoot it, so they're probably gonna react that way. They're gonna raise up, they're gonna lift their arm up to contest, whatever. So if we can utilize that, we can use the beginning of that motion to get them to get into that reaction and then break that and be able to attack. It allows us to, again, create that advantage. So we're gonna use this coming off of a float though. So if I'm floating, I might get into a three where I'm here, and then that's my shot. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get to that float, we're gonna bring that left hand to the ball, but then we're gonna turn out of it and break that right before we pick it up. So I'm here with it, I'm floating, getting myself there, and then I'm into that drop. Now, depending on where that defender's coming from, where they close out to, I might have to turn it and get back on the inside here. So I get myself through that float, get myself there. What's really, really important here is that you get yourself to a point where you're this close to carrying the ball. You're this close to actually picking it up, that's the only way you're going to sell it. So getting myself out, and I'm getting that hand right next to that ball as I almost bring it to that hand. So it should feel pretty much exactly like that pickup is gonna feel. Once you get that, being able to also give a look up at the rim is also really helpful. Get myself out, and I'm there with it, getting downhill. That's a really good way to be able to take advantage of that defender and the way that they pick up on patterns, especially if you're a shooter. So now we're gonna go through some options coming off of the catch. It's super important that you're able to play off the catch because the majority of the time, these are the situations you're gonna get where someone drives, kicks it to you, you have a closeout coming. Can you score out of this action right here? Because you're gonna get that dozens of times throughout a game. You might only get a few times to be able to attack off the dribble unless you're the #1 player on your team or you're on a team where that's your job. Every player is gonna have opportunities to score off the catch. It's important that we get good at that. The first thing, and it's super basic, but I think if you get really good at it, it's really hard to guard, it's just having a good jab. So being able to catch and thinking body weight, ball, and eyes too. I think this is a lot of times where players can lose it is their eyes don't sell this drive here. If I'm driving to my right, there's usually a spot on the floor where I'm pretty much gonna be looking or where I'd be driving towards. So I'm here and I look at that spot on the floor, I can kind of see my peripheral, everything else. So you wanna identify that spot. So okay, that's the spot that I normally would look at, and that's where I'm gonna look on that jab. So if I know I'm jabbing here, or if I feel that they're really out of control and I can get them to bite with a jab, then I'm looking at that spot and then I'm getting myself out the other way. And that body weight's going, that ball is going, and my eyes are also selling that spot on the floor because again, defenders are subconsciously picking up on all these patterns. So they're paying attention to where your head is, where your eyes are at, and that's gonna play a huge part in whether or not they actually bite on anything that you ever do. Going with that, the second option of the catch is probably my favorite thing, and it's a shimmy jab, or the rocker step is also known as. Instead of jabbing and getting myself right back the other direction, we're jabbing, getting ourselves to rock back the other way, and then going this way. This is something that really freezes defenders because again, it's just a break in a pattern. So I'm here with it, again, getting those eyes to where I would be going, and then I can drive. So again, super important that body weight and ball go. Eyes are going as well. I'm back the other way, same thing. Body weight's gotta go, ball's gotta go, eyes have gotta go, and then we can rip through and go back the other way. Again, this is one of my favorite things, so I think it works so well. Adding this into what you can do is a really, really good option off the catch. Like I said, moves are overrated, but being able to create advantages is exactly where your focus needs to be. So take these different things we talked about, apply them, try them out, see what works for you, see what doesn't work for you, see how you can adjust on each rep to be better. And if you can start to learn how to adapt, figure out a way to find a solution when the defense presents you with something new, you're gonna be able to be really, really effective and hard to guard. And that right there is the secret to scoring more points, creating more for yourself, and creating more for your teammates. Make sure you click the top link in my description below to get my free Elite Perimeter Scorer workout. And it's brand new, so if you guys wanna go check that out, even if you already have, go give it a look. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.